Hello, my name is Glenn Dyer, and you are watching a Dyer-Situation. Today I'm seeing A Dog's Purpose. A Dog's Purpose. This combined with monster trucks is probably the most baffling thing to come out in January. So, for those of you who don't know, this movie is basically the story of a dog who dies, and then is subsequently reincarnated multiple times. So we go through multiple lives of a dog. That's our movie. The reincarnating dog. It was based on a book, I guess. So that means somebody read that book, probably one of the 5 people who read that book, and said, I want to make a movie out of this, and so they did. Well, I've never been one for discouraging risk, so honestly, if they think they can get something good out of it, I guess I appreciate the effort. Just really bizarre. I'm not sure what direction they're gonna go with it. I'm assuming it's just going to be like a simplistic dogs make people happy story. Yeah, because I think he meets up with Dennis Quaid in the end, and like it goes full circle. So the dog he had as a kid is reincarnated into a dog he gets when he's elderly. I wouldn't call Dennis Quaid elderly, but still older. The fuck is this movie? This is so weird. Also, apparently PETA's extremely mad at it because there was a video released. I didn't see the video, but I know of it. Apparently showing a dog being forced to do a stunt he didn't want to do. I don't know if he was injured in that stunt, but definitely kind of breaking that whole no animals were harmed in the making of this feature thing. So, yeah, a bit of a moral issue in watching this, but yeah, I never... Just bear in mind, I don't really not watch movies based on preference or moral reasons. I watch whatever the hell comes to my theater, and I watch 2 a week, and that's my only rule. So, yeah, it's a reviewer thing. I do not condone animal abuse. So, just getting that out of the way. And if that is true, if they did do animal abuse, as I said, I didn't watch the video, so I don't know if it's just PETA being PETA, or if they actually did do something horrible, and are horrible people for it. I don't know. But yeah, if they did, then that's horrible, and I can totally understand you not wanting to see the movie based on that alone. So, I'm just here to tell you how the movie itself is. And I think the movie itself is going to be pretty weird. So, let's get right down to brass tacks. Yeah. No. 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 That's the only word to describe this movie is no. It's a good no. What'd you think of it? No. Just no. So, just moving on. Apparently this movie does have an ASPCA tagline at the end. So, if there was dog abuse going on, then, ASPCA needs to step their games up. But, as for the movie itself, well, if you were ever interested in seeing the weird love child of Max and Age of Adeline, then I guess this is the movie for you. It's about a dog, and it has a weird mystical element to it, that doesn't amount to much. And it's extremely cheesy. But it's kinda cute at times. There's puppies. There's dog stuff. I wouldn't go into this looking for any kind of accurate representation of what a dog thinks like, but I doubt anybody watching this actually did. Although I must say, I did compare it to Max, but honestly, this movie was written more competently than Max. And what I mean by that is, when these people went in to shoot a movie with dogs, they did not write in scenes where the dog has to fight other dogs or something like that. They did not write in, like, very many stunt scenes. I don't know which stunt the dog in this movie was the subject of in that video, but in this movie they don't write in too many scenes like that. There is one scene, I think, where the dog jumps off of a bridge, or a dam, and I can easily see how that could have been fixed to look like he did. And at one point there's a dog that's meant to look kind of neglected, but for that they just kind of dip it in some mud and call it a night. It's dirty, it's dirty, that means neglect, yeah. It doesn't look skinny or anything, it's dirty. That's fine. Because you know what? The way the movie is written, it is comprehensible that they could pull it off without it looking like complete shit. They did not write in a dog fight scene where there is no honest way you could film that without it looking terrible. So in that sense, it is more competent than Max. But doesn't mean the film's good. I can't say I'm exactly on the side of it is definitely bad. I'm on the side of just no. As I said, that's the only way to describe it. Everybody in this, all the little stories, the dog goes through like 4 reincarnations. No, like 4 incarnations would be the word. There's 4 dogs, okay? And all the little mini stories that we're told, they don't amount to too much. They go on for about 20 minutes each. And we learn very little. In fact, they're so short, and this whole mystical reincarnation thing is shoved into so late into the movie, I think about an hour into the movie, that I kind of have to wonder, when somebody was writing the book for this, I wonder if what happened was he was writing some sort of book of this young teenager and his girlfriend and some sad stuff they went through, and it's all from the dog's perspective, right? And the person writing it doesn't think it all the way through, so he writes it as the dog grows up and alongside them, and we're told this whole cheesy-ass seen it a billion times story from the dog's perspective. And then, partway through, he realizes, man, that doesn't make any sense. Dogs don't live to be 50. Man, I can't think of what to do. The story's so stupid. I gotta find some way to angle this so it works. Okay. The dog dies of dog death, and it gets reincarnated. And of course he says this after a night of just pounding Adderall, just swallowing gobs of Adderall. He's just reincarnating. We'll reincarnate the dog. And in his fit, he pounds out that section of it, and then turns it into the editor. And the editor's like, sure, here's a contract. And he only read the first 100 pages or so, and he's like, whatever. And then he looks at it and he's like, what the fuck is this reincarnation shit? What the fuck is going on? Fine, whatever. I already paid him money for it, so I'll just somehow write it write in some scenes to have that make a little more sense. And now we have this. I'm sure it did not actually go down like that, but it's the only way I can imagine it that doesn't hurt my brain, because this is a extremely baffling and strange movie. If you discount the supernatural aspects, as I kind of hinted at before, this is a very by-the-numbers story. Like, extremely. The main plotline, which is the most fleshed out, essentially barrels down to this guy makes a mistake in love and then fixes it later, with not much effort, by the way. It just gets fixed. That's the main plot. How interesting. And the other subplots, well, they're honestly a little better than the main one, just because they appear to have been specifically written as vignettes. So, like, the other three, there's this cop, right? This old grizzled cop, and the dog's a cop dog now. Not that kind of cop dog. But, he's depressed because he lost his wife, and, you know, he's all alone in the world. And then he goes out on this chase, and the dog happens to die in the chase, and we move on. And, you know, for that brief time when we were getting to know him, it was interesting. But they cut that one a little too short. We don't get any kind of resolution to that guy. The second one is this lady going to college, and she's also suffering the same loneliness problems. So, see, the themes like poetry, so that it rhymes. And so the dog introduces her to a guy through dog stuff, and she grows old and she lives a happy life and all that. I'm making that one sound lame, but that one's honestly probably the best out of the four, because I don't know, it felt the most human, it felt the most rounded. Like, and then there's the third one, which is just begins sad and ends sad. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, there's not much to that one. It was specifically written short so that we can have everything go full circle at the end. I'm not gonna spoil anything specifically with that one, but yeah. But you get what I mean. It goes for quantity over quality, I suppose would be the word. There are 4 separate stories in here, one of which significantly bigger than the others, and none of which are what you would call a full story, except for maybe the fucking dog. Even though it doesn't learn anything, it doesn't gain anything, it has no kind of arc whatsoever. The dog's a fucking dog. It's just as stupid when it is born as when it fucking dies. Every single time it dies, I suppose. So, yeah. I don't... Fuck. So yeah, the movie's kind of stupid. I'm just gonna say that much. I guess if you're really curious, then sure, but... there's not much to it, man. Like, maybe get it on DVD as a joke. That's the only kind of way I can do it. Don't see it in theaters, though. That would be a little ridiculous. This is not a movie I would necessitate seeing in theaters. Let's wait a bit if you're honestly that curious. But there's not much to it. Not enough to deserve that. So until next time, I'm Glenn Dyer, and you have been watching a Dyer-Situation.